News calls for legal standpoint with Michael J. Todd. I am Michael J. Todd. Usually you all see my partner, the Commish, Ed Gray. You know, he usually goes through some little mantra talking about from something to the Congo and all that kind of stuff. I said, but he's not here today. My man Ed Gray is laid up. He had surgery. You know, he called me week before last and he told me, he said, hey Todd, I'm having surgery on Wednesday before the show. Can you come pick me up so I can, I can come over to the show? And then when I talked to him this past week, I was like, Ed, there's no way you can get up and go and be at the show. So I told him, hey, I was going to give him a pass. He didn't need to be here. And so from that standpoint, we don't have our man, but we want to send a heartfelt desire that he recover and he gets up and running. It's nothing. Well, it's nothing that's going to require. Don't get worried or anything. He's not about to kick the bucket or nothing. He's in good shape. So today, I have my good friend Kenzie Moore here with us. That's here to help me in this show, Legal Standpoint. And those of you who know Kenzie know that he's a former DeSoto ISD council member. He's also a former DeSoto city council member. And he was also the former mayor pro tem for the great city of DeSoto. Kenzie, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing better than good and better than most, and just blessed here to be here with you, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right, I appreciate it. Now, you know what? I had to bring Kenzie in because Ed's not here. However, you just can't replace a person like Ed with just one person. Even though I like Kenzie, and I know he's a hell of a guy. I said, so I also had to bring my production assistant here today, Erin Crittenden, recent graduate of TCU. You can't see her right now, but she's right here and she's helping me keep things running smooth. So we're just happy to have her here. Kenzie.
Yes, sir.
I've been kind of dismayed, man.
I understand.
This is Legal Standpoint. I always tell people it's Legal Standpoint, and I know we sit up and we talk a lot of politics and things of that nature, but there's a cross-section of legal cases and also with respect to politics that I want to talk about today. We've got a situation, folks, that everybody, and I kind of look at my role to I like to get the information out there so everybody can understand what's going on. So it's not a situation where later on when everything's already baked in, we look around and talk about how did that happen?
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I want to talk today about the Texas two-step.
Okay.
How the state of Texas is involved in a two-step to negate your voting rights and also the Voting Rights Act.
Okay. Explain that to us about the two-step.
The two-step. All right. So let's talk about what is the Voting Rights Act.
Yes, sir.
Specifically, I'm talking about Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Now, back in the day, back during secondary citizenship and things of that nature, a lot of states came up with reasons or processes or methods to keep African Americans from voting in America.
Yeah.
You had to go in and you had to look at the jelly beans in a jar and tell them how many jelly beans were in the jar so you'd be able to vote. Nobody could get that right. And even if you got it right, they would tell you you're wrong. So what it would do, it would keep you from voting.
Yeah.
Then you had your poll tax.
Yes, sir.
Where you had to pay a certain tax, right? Then they had stuff like grandfather clauses. If your grandfather or if your father was eligible to vote, you were automatically eligible to vote.
Yeah.
And we know back in coming out of slavery that black folks couldn't vote.
That's right.
So we couldn't get the grandfather clause.
That's very interesting.
But that was for everybody else.
Yeah.
So what happened as we went through this period of secondary citizenship, and as we were coming out from the civil rights movement, the Voting Rights Act was passed. And what it does, and I'm talking specifically because what's under attack now, a lot of the sections of the Voting Rights Act have been undercut already. But one that has been viable is Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And what it does, it proscribes or prohibits practices and procedures that discriminate on the basis of race, color, or membership in a minority group identified in the Act. It prohibits practices and procedures. You know, procedures, when we're talking about procedures, we're talking about how an individual may be able to vote, or to register to vote.
Yeah.
That's a procedure. It could be how you're able to file suit in a lawsuit to be able to contest an action. So there are a lot of different things that could be practices and procedures. And so what happens is that this section, which has been viable, is under attack. And it's under attack in numerous ways. What I want to do initially is talk about, you know, I said it's the Texas two-step, so this first case that we start with, the first step of the two-step, came out of Galveston, Texas. Back in, I think it was 2022, 2021, somewhere in that range, the Galveston County Commissioners drew a map for the individuals to be able to run for the county commission. Okay? And we in Dallas, we know the county commission, John Wiley Price is a county commissioner.
Yes, sir.
You know, Clay Jenkins is a county commissioner. And so the county commissioners are important positions in the Texas in the Texas structure of government.
That's right.
And so they had issued a new way how they were going to do the maps, and the African American and Hispanics said that those maps did not give them a chance to elect individuals that were within their group, African Americans or Hispanics.
Yeah.
And so they filed suit under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Now, once they filed suit under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, they had a hearing and a trial before the district judge.
Okay.
You know, we always have 3 levels, right? You have a district court, you have a court of appeals, and then you had a Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Right, so they had a trial before the district court. The district court found that the maps diluted the minority strength of the Hispanic and the black folks within that area.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's good. All right? We're going to have to redraw the maps.
Okay.
But then, the county commissioners of Galveston, they then did what? They appealed.
Yeah.
And when they appealed, it went to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals.
That's right.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, I'm telling y'all folks, is one of the most conservative Court of Appeals. They oversee cases out of Texas, they oversee cases out of Mississippi, and Louisiana.
Yep.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is in New Orleans, Louisiana. And so what happened is that they had a panel who listened to the appeal, and that panel said, you know what, the judge got it right. Galveston, Texas, their maps are discriminatory and they weaken the minority strength.
Yeah.
All right? Well, there's a provision under the law where you say, hey, look, that was just 3 of the judges on the Fifth Circuit. There are like 18 judges on the Fifth Circuit.
Okay.
And so what they can do is they can say, well, you know what, we think you 3 got it wrong.
Yeah.
And if you all got it wrong, we're going to ask for all 18 of the folks to be able
That's interesting.
to listen. That's what they call en banc,
Okay.
ENBANC.
Okay.
All right, so they did that.
Yeah.
Man, guess what happened? Guess what?
They overturned the other 3?
They overturned the other 3.
So they had 3 that made this decision for the whole party of 18, and the rest 15 came back and said, you 3 got it wrong.
Right. Well, it was like a 12-6 split.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Now let's kind of delve into this because it's not just a situation that they overturned it.
Yeah.
It's the fact of how they overturned it.
Okay.
Now we're talking about voting strength. You heard me say that.
Yeah.
We've got black folks and we've got Hispanic folks. They banded together and said that these maps are discriminatory against both of us.
Okay.
All right. So what happens is that when you look at these maps, you have to make a determination of whether those groups could elect someone in the first place. You know, if I'm in Wyoming, where there's only like 4,000 black folks in the whole state,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a map, and then they said, and I said that map was discriminatory against the black folks, right?
Uh-huh.
And we only had 4,000 people in the whole state, then you can't win no way.
That's right.
Right? If all 4,000 people banded together, you can't win anyway. So what you have to do to be able to proceed with a Section 2 voter dilution suit, you have to show that you are capable of winning. Your group is capable of winning.
Yeah.
Well, ever since 1982, the courts have allowed the combination of groups,
Okay.
blacks and Hispanics, right? And they have said we together
Mm-hmm.
would be able to elect someone together. Well, the Fifth Circuit threw all of this precedent away. And they said, you know what? No, y'all can't combine blacks and Hispanics.
Is that right?
You have to show either the blacks could win
Yeah.
or the Hispanics could win.
Right.
And since neither one of them could win by themselves, they
Yeah.
don't have enough numbers,
Correct.
then you can't proceed forward with your lawsuit.
This is the fifth.
The Fifth Circuit.
Okay.
So in essence, what they've done is that they have overturned precedent. And they just said, hey, look, you can't combine, it says class. The act says class, not classes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't combine the two. And so that's probably gonna lead to what?
Mm-hmm.
An appeal to
Supreme.
the Supreme Court, which has been very, very conservative.
Yeah.
So that's something that we have to watch
Yeah.
as it relates to that particular case. But that's something that just came down
Yeah.
just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I told you it was 18 people on this
Yeah.
on this en banc,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The Fifth Circuit.
The Fifth Circuit. So let me ask you this. It was a 12-6 split,
Yeah.
right? 11 of the judges who ruled in this new fashion,
Yeah.
who do you think they were appointed by? A Republican or a Democrat?
I would say they were appointed by a Republican.
Yeah, they were all reported.
Yeah.
11 of the
And
12.
particularly coming out of the South and
Right.
out of New Orleans.
Right.
All of these judges came from the South, and they were appointed under probably some was under Trump, some was under Bush,
Right.
some probably was under Reagan, going back that
Yeah,
far.
yeah, good.
Yeah.
But 11 of the 12
Yeah.
were appointed by Republican presidents.
Yeah.
Now, you say they were coming from the South. That's true.
Yeah.
Because generally the judges are going to be from the geographical
Yes, sir.
area that court covers.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Texas,
Yeah.
Louisiana,
Alabama.
no, and Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
It's 3 states that
Okay.
make up the Fifth Circuit.
Okay.
All right, but it just set a precedent. So, folks, what we have here is that we have a chipping away of the Voting Rights Act, because they're saying that unless you can say black folks make up 51%
Yeah.
of the population, right? If you can't say that blacks make up, or Hispanics make up 51% of the population,
Yeah.
then you don't even have a right to even come under Article 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah.
I mean, damaging, just really damaging.
Talk to us about the breakdown then in the state of Texas, the demographics in
Well-
the state of Texas in regard to the population of the Hispanics, the black, and the white.
Right. Well, you know what? I did look that up, and
Yeah.
it is unique, right?
Mhm.
You know, and we're going to kind of get into this too a little bit, you know, as we start talking about some of the political shenanigans.
Yeah.
Right now, I said it was the Texas 2-step. 1 step is what? The lawsuits that they're pulling, and
Yeah.
some of the rulings that we're receiving,
Yeah.
versus the political shenanigans that are going on. But when you look at the demographics of Texas,
Mm-hmm.
38.8%, according to the projections now for 2025.
Yeah.
38.8% of the individuals in Texas are Caucasian.
Okay.
39.2, I believe, percent,
Mm-hmm.
the individuals are of Hispanic origin.
Okay.
And then African Americans make up 13%
Okay.
of the Texas
Okay.
population.
Mm.
Now, one thing I've said before about this, right? And folks, on legal standpoint, I know you've heard this before, and it's important. Of the 13% of the
Mhm.
black folks that are in the state of Texas, the number of black people make up more state in the country.
Is that right?
That's right. Georgia has, let's say, 3.3 million black folks.
Okay.
And their black folks make up, let's say, 38% of their population.
Okay.
Right? Texas has 3.9 million black folks.
Okay.
Now, we only make up 13% because we're a bigger state,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But we still have some some voting power if we can band together as it relates to registering to vote and actually getting out to vote.
Yeah.
How many times in 2024, Mr. Moore, were we talking to people, because you and I are alike, and we try to get folks to register to vote, and what were some of the things you would hear people say?
I would hear them say, I am, but don't.
Right.
Or I would hear them say, well, you know, it's not gonna mean too much.
Right.
Or I would hear some man, I'm not sure where to go vote.
Right. Or I'm not political.
I'm not
I'm
political.
political. It ain't gonna make no
It
difference.
ain't gonna make no difference.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And since 2024,
Yeah.
well, since January 20th of this year, we have been under attack from all angles.
Yeah.
Politically, legally.
Yeah.
You know, they stripping out all your programs. If anything's African American related, they don't care. They took Jackie Robinson's bio off of the military website.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson. Now, how are you gonna say that Jackie Robinson, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, of all time, and he's supposed to be a DEI hire? And you got folks like the Secretary of Defense, who we've talked about before, as the weekend man. He wasn't even good enough to be the full-time, correspondent for Fox News. He's the weekend man, but he's not DEI.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely didn't earn it.
Yeah. What you say about the president?
Well, the president too. Bankrupt 6 times, but he's a great businessman.
Oh yeah, and he's no DEI, right?
Yeah, he's no DEI. Well, he knows how to, how to play to the crowd.
Yeah.
So the thing is this. So we've got that as it relates to the Voting Rights Act, but that's not it.
Okay, talk to us.
All right. There's a case that's out of North Dakota.
Okay.
And the North Dakota case was brought, up in North Dakota, they have Indian tribes up
That's
there.
right. That's right.
And so there were 2 tribes that came together, and they said, hey, look, you all have done some maps, and these maps are discriminatory against us on the tribe, the Indians here. And so they filed a lawsuit to say that, hey, look, we should be able to pursue this and get new maps. Also under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Okay.
This is in the 8th Circuit. Okay. Now the 8th Circuit encompasses like 6 or 7 states. I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
But they smaller states, right? So they may not have as many people.
Yeah.
The 5th Circuit probably affects more people.
Yeah.
But the 8th Circuit impacts more states,
Yeah.
right? So they're sitting there and they say, well, hey, look, we say that this is discriminatory. You know what they said in that court? They came out with only the 8th Circuit has ever come up with this decision. They said that an individual or an association, like the Indian tribe, could not bring a Section 2 suit to try to remedy the discrimination. They said that the only entity that could bring a suit is the Department of Justice, the federal government. Now, mind you, since 1982, there have been over 400 lawsuits filed under Section 2 by individuals or associations. And they have come up with a ruling where they're saying, no, you cannot have standing. You cannot proceed forward with a Section 2 claim. It has to be the federal government. Now, the federal government, a lot of people would say, oh man, well, the federal government, they'll get on top of it. No. Since Trump has been in office, all of the existing cases that were dealing with discrimination where blacks, Hispanics, or Indians or whoever were bringing lawsuits against municipalities and things of that nature are being dismissed. They are just getting rid of them. They are focusing on what they say is the true discrimination that's been ongoing, which is reverse white discrimination.
Yeah.
So we've got two things that we're talking about with court cases.
Yeah.
We had a case out of Galveston,
Yeah.
right? Where they say, well, hey, look, you can't band together and bring a lawsuit,
Yeah.
right? Now you have a case that's out of the Eighth Circuit that says, not only can you not band together, but if you're not the federal government, you can't come in here anyway.
Wow.
So no one would be able
Yeah.
to bring that lawsuit, especially since this particular federal government is totally against
Yeah.
bringing these type suits. I mean, we're under, the whole voting rights is under attack right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
May I add something to that?
Right.
You know who's one of the strongest person who's trying to dismantle the Voting Rights Act?
Who is that?
He's on the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, Clarence Thomas.
And he's known for that.
Oh yeah, well,
Isn't that amazing?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we gonna get to Clarence.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's 4:20. We gotta pay some bills right
Okay.
now. So let's take a little break.
Yeah.
We're gonna come. We're gonna talk about the Louisiana
Yeah.
case, which impacts Clarence Thomas.
Yeah,
Good segue.
absolutely.
All right.
Tune in from 7 to 9 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday for the Clef Live, where we play an amalgamation of live performances from current and past artists. That's the Clef Live, weekends from 7 to 9, right here on Jazz Clef Radio.
Hey, whenever I want good Cajun food, I go to Thibodeau's, located at 107 North Cedar Ridge in Duncanville, Texas. They're really hot, just like the Commish radio show in Thibodeau's. Hot as this gumbo. We will see you later at Thibodeau's.
Hi, Amy Manuel here, proud Texas liberal and host of Political Musings every Monday at noon on Fishbowl Radio. Each week, we explore politics through the lens of music and pop culture on themes that vary from science fiction to wages to civil rights to women's rights and sometimes just one artist like Elvis or Eartha Kitt. We'll meet activists and candidates and some folks that lived the history that some of us only read about. Join in each Monday at noon
on FishbowlRadioNetwork.com. Jump in.
I'm Pastor Freddie Haynes. I listen to the Commish show on the Fishbowl for my social activism information so I can be a better agitator.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors. If you find yourself in the market to buy, sell, lease, or maybe you want to be a part of this hot real estate market by investing, just give my team of professionals and I a call at 214-675-9572. Again, that's 214-675-9572. Or you can email me at gtodd88@yahoo.com. With me, it's all about you.
This is Sheldon Smith, president of the National Black Police Association Dallas chapter, with my good friend Ed Gray on Commish Radio every Saturday. Tune in.
All right, we're back with Legal Standpoint with our guest, Kinsey Moore. We're talking about the Voting Rights Act, the attack on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And Kinsey, you brought up a great point as it relates to Clarence Thomas.
Yes,
Clarence
sir.
Thomas, of course, has been on the Supreme Court for a long time. And I can't think of anybody who's had viewpoints that are more antithetical towards black folks than him. I mean, he is...
And who benefited the most.
Yeah, benefited the most, you know. You know, the same Clarence Thomas, he had Boone Pickens buy him a, big luxury, streamliner recreational vehicle, and he's flown around the country on other folks' dimes.
With the Crow family.
Yeah, the Perot family.
Crow.
Yeah, Crow family. But, that aside.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about, it's a case out of Louisiana. And this case out of Louisiana is dealing with redistricting under Section 2 once again. And so what this particular case is dealing with was that Louisiana had 6 seats for 6 congressional seats. Black folks make up about 33%, a little bit about a third of the population in Louisiana. However, of the 6 seats, they only had 1 seat.
Wow.
So what they did, they filed a lawsuit under Section 2. And so what happened is that they won their lawsuit.
Okay.
I think they won at the Court of Appeals or whatever, right? And so the state of Louisiana said, you know what, no mas. You know, we not, you know, we just gonna give up, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going to pass a new map that has 2 black districts. All right? Because that's what it was all about. So that's what they did. Now, what they were doing, they had some important congressmen in Louisiana that they wanted to make sure that those people were still going to be elected.
Protecting their seat.
Yeah, like the Speaker of the House,
Johnson.
Yeah, they were protecting him, and you know, some of the other folks that were high up in the hierarchy of Congress. And so what happens is that to do both things, to take care of the people that they wanted to keep in there, and to also create this second black district, they had to then make a district that has been described as kind of snake-like. All right?
Yeah.
Well, when that district comes out, you had a group of insurrectionists, you know, who then filed suit against the second map, the map that had the 2 districts, right? So they filed suit against that map to do what? To say, well, they took race into account in making that map, so that's in violation of the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause.
Yeah.
And so that case went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're thinking here, you're saying, well, they had lost before because they didn't have enough black districts, and now they're trying to take issue with the black district that they put in. Surely that's an easy one that the Supreme Court's just gonna kick back and say, no, you know, y'all tripping, insurrectionists, you know, just go on about your business. No, that's not what happened. The case was argued before the Supreme Court this past term.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, man, when the last day came out, when they were issuing these opinions, this opinion hadn't come out. And so they were talking about birthright citizenship and stuff like that.
Right.
But I wanted to know what happened with the Article 2 case.
Yeah.
Right? And so the Article 2 case doesn't come out. So I'm like, man, what is going on? Are they holding it over? And so I got to start doing Google searches and stuff like that. And I find out that they have decided that they are going to have the Article 2 case re-argued next year for the next term, starting in October. And so I'm like, well, why are they doing that? You know, what's going on with that? And so the thing is that they are most likely going to broaden what they're looking at, not just whether the district is meeting, you know, is meeting the purpose of getting the second black district. They're going to start looking at, and it looks like, of whether the legislature can even take race into account when they are trying to remedy racial discrimination.
So how are you going to do that?
How are you going to do that?
Yeah.
And on top of that, the Voting Rights Act specifically says in developing a remedy that you can take race into account.
Seems like you have to.
So they're now going to say, or there may be a decision that comes out that says that that portion of the Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional. And just think about it. If you make a finding of discrimination that these maps are diluting the strength of the black and Hispanic, it could be Indians, it could be Asians, or whoever, right? If it's doing that, how can you develop a map that remedies that without taking into consideration the race? But that looks like what they're about to do. Now, when they decided, they being the Supreme Court, when they decided that they were going to kick this down the road a little bit, your boy Clarence Thomas,
Talk to me.
he wrote a dissent.
Yes, he did.
In this dissent, he wanted the court to rule outright that the Voting Rights Act Section 2, which requires consideration of voters' race to ensure that congressional and state legislative voting districts are drawn fairly, he wanted a finding that violates the Constitution's guarantee of equal protection. And he said in his dissent, I am hopeful that this court will soon realize that the conflict in Section 2 jurisprudence has shown with the Constitution is too severe to ignore. So he's ready, and he's got other folks there that are willing to do what?
Yeah.
To find that the Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional.
Want to overturn it.
Yeah, they want to overturn it.
Yeah.
You know, he's got Gorsh,
Yeah.
Alito, and Barry. They all dissented in the Allen versus Milligan case. That was a case that came out 2 years ago.
Okay.
That was dealing with Alabama's voting maps. In that particular case, Kavanaugh
Yeah.
and Roberts joined with the three
Yeah.
so-called liberals
Yeah.
and found that the map was discriminatory.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have on record 4 of the folks
Yeah.
are saying, hey, look, you know, we're kind of cool with getting rid of the Voting Rights Act. So all of that is going on right now where we've got these legal assaults
Yeah.
that are attacking the Voting Rights Act. And, you know, they've already gutted other sections
Yeah.
of the Voting Rights. You know, it used to be under one of the sections of the Voting Rights Act that a state could not make changes unless they had pre-clearance.
That's right.
And so they would have to show those maps to the Department of Justice.
That's right.
And the Department of Justice would have to say, okay, that's cool, you can do that map.
That's right.
Now, the only reason that you would have to go through the pre-clearance was that if you had been found to have discriminated in the
Yep.
past.
That's right.
So the Supreme Court, back in a case I believe it's called Shelby v. Holder,
Oh, yes.
they kicked that out.
Yep.
And so that's how you've seen all of this voter ID,
Yeah.
you know, all of this stuff now
Yeah.
where Trump's trying to do executive orders
Yeah.
to be able to clear voting rolls.
Yeah.
He's asking for voting rolls
Yeah.
from all the states. The federal government does not oversee the elections.
That's right.
Each state is over their elections.
On election.
So why does the federal government want all the information about the state's voting bank, who it is, right? You know, if they don't oversee it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to infiltrate in. So those are all the legal attacks,
Yeah.
you know, for the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah.
And so it's just attack. But that's just the first step or the 2-step.
Yeah.
Right? Because we got the Texas 2-step, right? And we started out with the legal arguments or the legal attack, starting with what first case I said? Galveston, Texas.
Galveston, Texas.
Right? So now what's going on now? What's going on now? Now we got the legal, the political Texas. This is the second step.
Yes, sir.
The second step. Now, y'all remember I just talked about the lawsuit where they said that the 2 groups could not come together, right? They said the blacks and the Hispanics couldn't join together to be able to show, right, that we could have a candidate to win. That each group had to show their own.
Yeah.
Remember that was the 5th Circuit that said that, right? Now, what the Trump Department of Justice has said is that, you know what? Y'all have some districts down there in Texas where it's made up of blacks and Hispanic folks. And y'all took that into consideration when you put them together like that. And so we think, based upon the 5th Circuit case, that that's illegal and unconstitutional. So what I want you all to do is I want you all to go back and to redraw all the congressional maps in the state of Texas.
Why?
Why? Well, you know why. Because the Republicans only have a few votes majority in the House. And they do not want to lose their majority. So what they're doing, you're supposed to redo the maps every 10 years after the census is taken.
That's right.
But Trump's DOJ has sent a letter to the state of Texas saying, I want you all to redo the maps because we think we can squeeze 4 or 5 more Republican seats, 4 or 5 more insurrectionist seats out of Texas. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, I follow you very well.
And Kenzie, I know we've talked about this
Yes,
before.
sir.
So what's something that's common about the districts that they're focusing on that they're saying that it's unconstitutional?
Well, number one, the Republicans see a couple of vulnerable Democrat districts in the state of Texas where they feel they can pick up because Trump won those districts. And in winning those districts, he and Abbott got together and said, hey, look at here. We can pick up maybe 3 or 4 because we have some vulnerable districts that are now in the Democratic Party that Trump won. Now, normally, when the DOJ tells another state that your maps are discriminatory, that state is going to say, "Hey, no, we're not. We've done this 3 or 4 times, and we ran it through the election commission." But Texas says, "Oh, you are right."
Right. Well,
go ahead.
But the thing is this, and listen to this, folks. Now, this is the tricky part about this. Listen to this. I just said that the maps were redrawn every 10 years.
Yes.
Which would have been 2020.
Uh-huh.
All right. Listen to this, folks. There was a lawsuit that was filed in Texas over the 2020 maps, where Black and Hispanics came together and said that the maps that we are currently using are discriminatory.
Yeah.
They just finished a trial about 2 weeks ago up in El Paso, I believe, right? Where the state of Texas came in and they said there was no racial consideration in passing these maps. None. It was like a month-long trial.
Yep.
And they said there was no racial component. These maps were drawn colorblind, right? Now, after the lawsuit, after the trial has completed, the judges haven't made a decision yet, but the lawsuit is completed. No more evidence is being introduced. They get this letter from DOJ, and now Abbott, Patrick, and Patrick's over the Senate. And then this Dusty Bowers, is it Bowers or Bowen, whatever his name, he's over the House. They've all said, well, you know what? We think the DOJ is right.
That's correct.
And even though we just told these 3 judges in this month-long trial that everything was no race was considered, we think now that we use race and that we need to strike down these lawsuits to be able to then draw new lawsuits.
Exactly.
New districts.
New districts.
New districts.
And mid-stop because they already did it in 2021. Now Abbott wants to call a special session to look at this and to redraw these again.
Right.
And he's focusing in on 4 districts where he feels they can pick up. And those districts are dominated by people of color.
Right.
They're mainly in the urban community of Houston, San Antonio, Austin. You know he can't come up to Dallas. That ain't gonna work. So he's staying down there in Harris County in those areas.
But I think he's also, I read something where they were trying to focus in on Mark Veazey's district.
Mark Veazey is in District 33, which is a part of Fort Worth. And that is a possibility. That is a possibility. But Mark is not so vulnerable as those that are in District 38 and District 24.
Well, why you say he's not as vulnerable?
Well, because when you look at the way the map is, the Fort Worth itself demographic has been changing. it's become more of a purple than a red.
Right.
As in the general election, as well as in the midterm, and that's where they're going to see it. So, I mean, Market, I think Councilor Vesey is okay, but that's not to say they're not going after him.
Right. Because what'll happen and what they're trying to do, folks, is this. Okay, if you've got a district, let's say, where a black or Hispanic person is
That's where they
winning,
hit it, yep.
right? What they're going to do is they're going to slice some of those black and Hispanic constituents out, and they're going to move in some of the insurrectionists, right? Or some of, people of other races in an attempt for them to be able to try to tip it to a insurrectionist and or Republican stature.
Then talk to us, because we've been talking about, talk to us about stealing from Peter to pay Paul.
Well, yeah, but and see, that's one concern.
Yeah.
Because we just talked about the demographics just a few minutes ago.
Correct.
Right? And so we're coming up on another break. So let's do this. Let's talk about the demographics and the Peter to pay Paul variable that's at play after the break.
Yes. Great.
Hello out there. My name is Byron Williams, former NFL player. I'm with the NFL Players Association, and when I'm not in the community, I'm listening to Mr. Ed Gray, the Commish.
Hello, I'm Chris Howell, co-founder of the Chris Howell Foundation. The Chris Howell Foundation, our goal is to strengthen individuals and families in the areas of financial literacy, mental health, and health in general. If you need assistance in any of these areas, I invite you today to go and check out our website, chrishowellfoundation.org. That's chrishowellfoundation.org. Men, you've been spending countless hours on YouTube searching for encouragement and empowerment. I want to give you the tool that you need today. It's InTheHuddleOnDemand.com. Go to InTheHuddleOnDemand.com today for the encouragement and empowerment that you've been searching for. You'll get a behind-the-scenes look of what's been going on with In the Huddle with Chris Howell. Go and check it out today.
Hi, this is Howard Scott from The Howard Scott Show, coming to you from beautiful Arlington, Texas on Fishbowl Radio. You can catch me every Wednesday from 6 to 7, and we play all this war music, and you get to hear some of the songs that I wrote when I was in the band War, how I created the songs, the stories behind it, and we start off with the blues. You have a good time talking to me, so tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 7 and catch The Howard Scott Show. We're having a whole lot of fun on Fishbowl Radio.
Jump in.
What's up, beautiful peoples out there? It's your boy Mar, a.k.a. Cool Pop Watson, baby. Make sure you check my man out 3 to 5 every Saturday. Commish Radio Show. Make sure y'all come check my man out.
Hello out there. My name is Byron Williams, former NFL player. I'm with the NFL Players Association, and when I'm not in the community, I'm listening to Mr. Ed Gray, the Commish.
Hi, I'm Ed Bridges, CEO, founder of Wrong Way Driver Alert. And one thing that we know, when you need to go the right way, we always turn to Commish Radio. He never leads you in the wrong direction. So here at Highway Nation, we want to thank Mr. Ed Gray for taking us in the right direction. And visit us on Facebook, Highway Nation page, and give us a like.
Legal Standpoint, special guest Kenzie Moore, and we were talking about just the demographics, right?
Yes, sir.
And the Peter to pay, what
Peter, stealing from Peter to pay Paul.
Oh, stealing from Peter to pay Paul. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I got a little tongue tied. So anyway, let's think about this.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I just said that there was a lawsuit based upon the 2020 maps in Texas. And that they just had a lawsuit that was completed in El Paso. We just talked about that. The main thing was this, was that in 2020, when they looked at the growth of individuals who had moved here to Texas, the growth was fueled primarily by the Hispanic community. And so when they drew the maps did not give the Hispanic community or African American community any more seats.
Correct.
So they were able to move it around where even though there was more growth fueled by the Hispanic community, the Hispanic community did not get any substantial new representation. So that is one of the main reasons of why they filed the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the steal from Peter to pay Paul principle with this redistricting now.
Yeah.
Is that you don't have that many more individuals that are not either black or Hispanic to move around.
There you go.
So if you have a district that has 55%
Yeah.
of individuals that are not black or Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
Then that district is pretty safe as it relates to being Republican. But if you take 3% or 4% of those individuals and put them in another district, then what happens, you haven't really guaranteed that you're going to win the new district, but you've also weakened your position in the district that you took it from.
Yep.
So the Republicans, you know, I remember when I was a kid, man, my mama used to always tell me stuff like, you know, when somebody was doing something, she's like, oh, they just getting too cute. You know? they getting too cute. You know, they trying to style and profile, or they getting greedy. You follow what I'm saying? And so to try to maximize their spots, right? They could end up being detrimental to their whole cause, especially because in the midterms, which is coming in 2026, usually the party out of power is the one that usually gains the most seats. So it would really, it could just really be a situation where it's just bad for them. Look at the numbers. I said the numbers before.
Yeah.
Hispanic individuals in the state of Texas make up 39.8% of the population. Individuals that are not black or Hispanic, right, make up 39.6%. And then black folks make up 13.6%. So if you look at the Hispanic population and the black population, right, then that's what? 52% of the individuals that are here in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You know, so what we got to do? You know, we got to vote.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people, we come on legal standpoint and we tell folks stuff, and then they say, well, what we gonna do? You need to register and vote.
Yes, and get out there.
Yeah, that's stuff that we keep hearing about. Well, I ain't political. It ain't gonna make no difference to me. I don't care. Well, yeah, it is gonna make a difference to you.
And why is this important now?
Well, it's important now because the
Council,
whole
why is it
country
important? Yeah, Council, why is it so important now, coming up to the midterm?
Well, it's because the whole country is in turmoil right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting the whole government dismantled.
Yeah.
Everything that may be advantageous or anything that gives a black person or a woman, you know what? That's one thing that we mention all the time on legal standpoint. People always, whenever they start talking about, oh, this, DEI, is giving people unequal chances, right?
Yeah.
People always want to highlight the black folks, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest winners from the diversity programs have been women.
White women in particular.
And white women on top of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you got all of these things where they saying, well, we're going to cut out abortion.
Yeah.
They want to cut out the pills and stuff. They got Charlie Kirk with Turning Point talking about y'all just need to be, housewives and motherhood. They don't want women to have careers.
Yeah.
They don't want women to have a mind.
Yeah.
They don't want women to be an independent force. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a client one time, man, we were in a mediation, and we asked his wife, he was real adamant about what he was saying, right? And they said, well, what does your wife say? And he looked and said, she think what I think. And that's what the insurrectionist party is trying to do now. They're trying to make the women think what they think.
Yeah.
However they feel, that's where it is. And so women have to understand. Women, black folks, Asian folks, Hispanic folks, all the Hispanic folks, they were like, oh man, Trump just going after criminals, right? He not gonna deport anybody, right? I know American citizens.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people I have talked to either directly or I have had a colleague talk to directly who have been in detention for 3-4 days to prove that they were American citizens. And the only thing that had them in jail was the fact that they were Hispanic and maybe around some individuals who were not American citizens.
You know, the reason why I asked you that question is that Texas could literally determine who is going to represent and have the majority in the House of Representatives.
Oh, without a doubt.
And what I think we need to understand is that if the Democrats take the House, it's a whole new ballgame.
Well, yeah, because the thing is this: we would be we would have the speakership, we would have the authority to issue investigations, subpoenas, hearings with respect to
exactly.
Now, don't get me wrong. When we had the majority in Trump's first administration, and we would have a hearing, they just wouldn't show up.
That's right.
They just didn't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. They stalled or whatever.
Yes.
But at least we would be able to stop some of this, treacherous type of legislation that has gone through, where they have just put money in the hands of the rich, and they cutting folks from Medicare. Man, how you gonna cut Head Start?
Well, you know, this is the reason why they're in such a hurry to get this stuff done.
Right.
Before 2026, because once 2026 comes, Republicans really know that they're going to lose the House. Right. And when they lose the House, then the investigations start. Then the purse string is cut.
Right.
The appropriation, the oversight, and oversight.
Doubt.
Now, once, and Texas is in a position whereas that they can put a stop to a lot of the stuff that the Republicans are doing. Texas is not the only one, as you said, that is doing it. Florida is doing it as well.
Yeah, Florida's big time.
But one of the things that Trump and House Speaker Johnson are doing, they need to do this stuff now, just like they just did with this $9 billion reversal of money. The rescission.
Right.
They're doing all this because they know in the midterms, as you stated, normally the party that's in the majority now loses a seat, and the new party will come in and put everything. And that's what Trump's biggest fear is. That's why he got with Abbott.
Yeah, because what they're trying to do, you know what? Over the past week, 2 weeks, there's a show on HBO that's been coming on called The Wire. They've been replaying all The Wire.
Yeah.
And one of the themes, I think it was in season 2, was that they were juking the stacks. You remember that? The police were juking the stacks, right?
Yeah.
That was a phrase that was used. They are trying to juke the stacks. They trying to juke the Congress.
Yep.
They trying to set it up where they can just win.
Yes.
And just do what they want.
Yes.
And not be concerned. And you know what? The thing is this. Like Frederick Douglass said, is 3 boxes that protect our democracy.
Yep.
One is the ballot box.
Yep.
Right? We got to register, we got to vote. Right? We got the numbers out there that we could get people interested. Right? If we could get people to understand the importance, then we can make change. So that's the first box. Is the ballot box. The second box is the jury box. Right? What we're doing, even though we're running up against a lot of opposition with the Supreme Court, we're still filing a lot of lawsuits. And we got to support these entities that are filing lawsuits. Because that is the only thing that's really just giving us an opportunity to try to hold stuff together.
That's under attack.
That's under attack too.
Major
attack, right? And because the thing is this, not only is it under attack legally, right? But you got gangsterism going on. You know, Amy Coney Barrett is getting pizzas just unannounced delivered to her house. And the message that they sending is, we know where you are. They have sent pizza deliveries and swatted her family, her sister, who doesn't even live with her, someplace else, where they're telling her, we know where your people are. That's gangsterism. You follow me? And so it's getting to a point where all options of defense have to be available, which then throws me into Frederick Douglass's third box, which is the bullet box. Hey man, in the year 2045, man, you ain't got a firearm at this time, man. Y'all
starting to sound like Malcolm X now.
Hey, I said defense. I didn't say nothing about offense. I said defense. But if you don't have, hey man, if anybody come marauding through DeSoto, hey, it's gonna be a problem.
Yes, there will be.
So y'all need to stay somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
Right?
This is really great.
But the thing is that we have to take advantage of all the boxes that are available. And it's you know, I get so fired up over this stuff, man.
Well, you and I have had this conversation very often. And of course, you know, we've been very much involved in this stuff all of our lives. I think you have made a very good point of the urgency of now.
Right.
And because we are asleep, the majority is the sleeping giant.
Right.
And the minority is awake and agitated.
Right.
I think that, though, that 2026 is going to be an eye-opener for a lot of us.
Right. But the thing is, we can't wait till 2026.
I totally agree.
We need to start registering people now. I know that there's been an effort where some of these billionaires have decided that they're going to come in and invest money and to try to register folks and to try to see if we can do something with Texas. Because you know what? If the Democrats could turn Texas blue,
oh my God,
right?
Yeah.
If they could just turn it purple, right, and have a chance to win with those electoral votes, we never lose.
So, what do you think about those who are running for the U.S. Senate in Texas and their opportunity?
Well, you know, we've got last time there was the Senate race.
Yes.
You know, I supported Colin already. I know him personally.
Yes.
Things of that nature.
Yeah.
We had a fundraiser for him at my house.
Yes.
You know, raised some good, decent money
sure
for
enough.
him. You know, from that standpoint. So I like Colin.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard that Jasmine Crockett may be considering.
Oh, is that right?
I've heard that. I haven't heard it from her.
Okay.
But I've heard other people.
She's a good friend of yours too.
I know she's a good friend of mine also. There have been some polls that have come out, and she's been leading the polls. Whether she's seriously considering that, I don't know. But if she ran, that would be something that would be, you know, interesting also.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want the Republican, you know, John Cornyn, you know, every now and then he'll do something right, right? And so I'm not going to say he's the worst, but you know, a broken clock's right 2 times a day. So just because he does something every now and then don't mean he's a good dude. you know, he just do something right every now and then.
Yeah.
But if Paxson won with all of the baggage that he has, I think that would increase our chances as it relates to the senatorial race.
Yes, it's better opportunity.
But the thing is this: we got to get out and vote, because when Beto O'Rourke ran against Cruz, he only lost by 2.5 points.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody was all excited, but then that was an off-year election.
That's right.
It wasn't a presidential election. So then we get the presidential election. And already, I mean, he lost by 8 or 9 points. So that was a little shocking to me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we coming up again on a off-year election. So hey, look, if we just go to work, it's something that we can take care of.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
You know what? I'm gonna say this: we got to go out. We got to do the 3 boxes. We got to support the people that are filing lawsuits. We have to get out and register and vote. And we got to stay ready. Not get ready. Stay ready. Not get ready. Remember the 3 Frederick Douglass boxes? Hey, it's been great. I'm gonna see you all on the next 3rd Saturday of next month. I appreciate Kenzie Moore coming in.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a good time.
Thank you.
I appreciate my production assistance from Aaron Crittenden. And hey, look, y'all have a good day. Go vote.